late Speaker Bosman and Speaker Brown standing here and saying a few things. And Chairman Crawford, thank you for standing here. So many. I got to tell you that I've given a lot of talks at this mic. We've only got a couple more to go, maybe 3, maybe not. But this is the hardest one. I wish I had great wisdom for the heart. I don't. But thank you for the comments and the thoughts. I was talking to Earl Harris the other day. And, you know, we leave our home families, our blood families, if you will, and we come here, we become families here. And thank you very much. Remember, I was outing around the other day. Remember, our caucus said, "What's the matter? Are you feeling badly because you're leaving?" I said, "No, that was yesterday. I'm feeling badly because I'm still here." But I'm not going to try to give you a lot of advice because I've been trying that for 36 years. It hasn't stuck, and so I give up. The reason I didn't count the first 4, Chairman Crawford, was because the first year, it's been mentioned, I was one of a class of 27 freshmen Republicans, 73 Republicans. You mentioned that yesterday, Speaker Brown. And of course, so being one of 27 freshmen, nobody paid any attention to me at all the first 2 years. You know, they didn't even who was that. And as a matter of fact, going back to old times, Chet noticed, I hadn't even heard from Indianapolis before the election day. No one ever called and said, "Hey, glad you're running. Here's $1, good luck. You support a door." But I won, and so came down, I won 27 freshmen. And the next year, we lost so many seats that we were in the minority. And so, of course, it didn't really good to be in the minority, so nobody paid attention to being over there either. That's not true. And so, I've been giving you 36 years of good advice. And if that hasn't stuck, sorry about that. I do want to share some facts, so I'm going to be as brief as I can. My wife wanted to be here, believe it or not. But I kept saying, "Don't, it'll make it harder for me. Don't come." She and our daughters and grandkids have been here in the last couple of weeks. Got a great wife. You can't be there and not have a good family. Or if you do something bad happens if you don't. And it's kind of a funny story between her and I because the first 2 years, check over, she said your daughter was born into your first session day. My first daughter was born 9 days before I got here. So I left the wife and the young baby at home. And so for the first few years, my wife didn't care whether I was here or not because she had the babies to take care of. And then they left home, and she was stuck at home alone. And she got angry every time they were in. Bless her heart. Shouldn't have. And now the grandkids come back close home and she didn't go with them here. But I didn't think so. And my mom kept running, but no, she's a great wife. She just doesn't care whether I'm home or not. But I got to thank all of you. You are my friends. And, you know, the media doesn't play it right. Almost without exception, we are friendly with each other, appreciate each other, appreciate the facts of each other's lives. And I remember sitting on this side of the aisle. I was having lunch with him the other day, and it was an issue that I didn't know a lot about. And I said, "What do you think about that?" I said, "I don't normally give a hoot what you think." He knows who he is. I said, "I don't normally care at all what you think. What do you think about this issue?" And he is a guy who's a talent. It's just that we don't normally agree, but he is a talent. He has good opinions, and I did want his opinion. But we think that about each other in many, many ways, I think. Reminds me of a story 30 years ago. Went down to French Lick, a stolen old junk place. And I'd been called in there for a conference of some sort. So I parked my car and I'm walking up the lane to the hotel, and I see this little short bald guy walking towards me. And he's waving, he's waving. I said, "Who is he?" "This is Pat Bauer." He didn't have his earpiece on. He does today. Is your brother? Guys. I'm going to tell you, Pat, he didn't look any worse than I do without my dentures. You probably have your teeth, right? I got to say thanks to the staff. I think Chuck mentioned that. Jews are great. And it isn't just the Republican staff, the leadership staff, the Kathys and the Jerrys and the Cheryls, but it's the Democrat staff. And you know, Dolly is my friend, and she doesn't get any of her good food, she's my friend. And Jeananne, wherever Jeananne is, sent me a goodbye note, and she's been a darling friend for many, many years. Thank you, Jeananne. And I can put in the Ways and Means staff in the same way the Democrat caucus. Eric's not so sweet, but I did hate to lose the young lady. Oh, trouble, who just left a few months ago. Sorry, Eric. But I got to say thanks to the staff at the Ways and Means office, and they're all sitting over here. Karen Howell has been here forever, a dear. She just and to the two guys who make me as smart as I can be, and that's Ben Tooley and David Dukes. They do most of all, I really thanks to my neighbors back home who let me stay here forever. They were an easy group to represent. I got to tell you, for those of you who represent universities and prisons and big cities and all kinds of complex things with complex needs, those are hard to represent. It's hard to represent Vernon Smith's area. It's not hard to represent Uniondale. Nobody expects much of government. We don't have university costs, we don't have city employees, we don't have state buildings. But my friends and neighbors back home have been good to me, and I thank them. I'm going to go as quickly as I can. I know it's been long. Chad Dover took us back memory lane in some ways the other day, and I went back to the late 60s yet because I was not here, but I heard the stories. I know you were not. You're old enough, no, I am. But I heard the stories of the closed committees in the late 60s. They were not open committee sessions. Can you imagine that? There was only one copy of the bill the chair had. What a deal, you know? I have a friend back home who claims he was the second employee at LSA in the late 60s. He was a recent law school grad. He's not practicing law in my community. Can you imagine 2 employees? The time went upstairs here, we had the typing pool. Ladies who typed Republican and Democrat letters side by side. Didn't know the difference. It's a great line. Peyton Manning said something yesterday about it's not so important where you're going, but it's equally important where you're going. And I want to tell you what we did a bit together. And Earl Durst, again, great conversation. Earl, thank you. A couple days ago, Earl talked to me, and we were talking about our time here together. And Earl says, you know, we built a city here in Indianapolis. We built a city. We built a place to come that was grand. And you think about it, it hasn't been just us. It's been mayors and city councils and people and businesses, all kinds of things. But it hasn't been, in fact, the actions of this General Assembly that allowed the creation of Circle Center, and Market Square, and now Conseco or Bankers, whatever they are. A dome. Many of us voted for the dome originally, and now the stadium. And time after time, we together have been a part of building the city. That's exactly right. But we've also been a part of building the state. And I'm sure we can do better. We've had Republican and Democrat governors and legislatures. And I give no or take any credit from anyone. But you know, you don't build White River State Park, First State Park, in an urban area in Indianapolis without success. I have to think all the other successes, Ivy Tech, the higher ed system, you know, we've got some great public colleges, despite the fact that I think they spend too much and raise too much tuition. We have some great public colleges, some of the best in the nation. But you can't think of anything else in the last decade or so, and this was frankly, Frank O'Bannon's doing more than anyone. Ivy Tech has grown from a second-rate local community college system to to become on the way to being one of the best community college systems in the nation. Over 100,000 kids that are going out there now. Marvelous success story. I talk about the tax structure. Some people get uncomfortable with the property taxes and the controls, but you know what? We did what the citizens asked us to do, and I think in the end they are better off for it. It took us a long time to get there, time after time, but things are better. I think about corrections. Corrections aren't very exciting, but how much better we are off today because we have, for instance, a community corrections system that didn't exist 20 years ago. Half the people in the state penal system are involved in community corrections. It's better for them. They got a chance at life. It's better for the state. I get ballistic go on and on. Education, we bicker about how we do it, but the reality is kids are getting better educated today than they ever were. And it's been a marvelous effort in these years. The job will never be done. I will miss it.